Hey, Homer J. Nick here with another update on the state of cheating on Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition on console. Now, it's been a while since I've done an update on Diablo 3 because really nothing has changed much. Well, that is until now. Before we get into the latest news on Diablo 3 and cheating, I think it's important that we quickly recap the ability to cheat in Diablo 3 on all platforms in seasons. Forget non-season, because on console there's no competitive leaderboards and there's modded gear in non-season. But we're talking about seasons here. So on PC we know there's botters and there's map hacks that give players an advantage in Paragon and gear. On Nintendo Switch, seasons have modded gear because the Switch is fully hacked and there's save editors that exist. On Xbox, you have dashboarding out of the game to save the used mats, and when you reload your save you get your mats back. But it's on PlayStation is where I want to clarify a few things. On PlayStation 4 and I guess now PlayStation 5, players can do the same as Xbox and force close Diablo 3 down and reload their save and they get their spent mats back. But unlike Xbox, there is a commercial application called Save Wizard that allows the editing of Diablo 3 saves for the PlayStation 4. But the developers of Save Wizard do not allow players to just edit the saves themselves, but rather Save Wizard have predefined things that you can edit, like gold, mats, shards and etc. And Save Wizard therefore cannot be used to get modded gear into seasons on PlayStation 4. So Switch has modded gear in seasons, but Xbox and PlayStation 4 does not. Now, okay, I know there's a slight caveat here with Season 22, let me explain. Both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One had modded gear in Season 22, but that was solely unique to Season 22. They were not hacked into the game. This was 100% Blizzard's fault because they accidentally started Season 22 early. I think it was on the Tuesday instead of the Friday. And so players made seasonal tunes and then Blizzard stopped the season very quickly on the Tuesday or the Wednesday. And these tunes reverted to becoming non-seasonal. So these players that created seasonal characters early that were now non-seasonal accessed their non-seasonal stash where there was modded gear that they've got available. They put the modded gear on these tunes, these characters. Now when Blizzard started Season 22 again on the Friday for real, well, these characters that were created became seasonal characters once again, and thus they had modded gear on them. That's how modded gear got into both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One solely for Season 22. It was an accident by Blizzard allowing seasonal characters to access non-seasonal stash where modded gear was available, and a kind of start, stop, start of Season 22. Now the point of explaining that is that modded gear has never existed on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One in seasons due to hacking or modding. Until now. Xbox guys, you're in the clear. This is PlayStation specific. I think we need to take a look at the leaderboards on Season 24 on the PlayStation 4. Let's do that. Alright, so let's have a look at the leaderboards on the PlayStation 4 for Season 24. And boom, let's go to the top. And we've got a clear of 150 in 6 seconds. That's the monk. Let's go to the necro. 7 seconds. Let's go to the witch doctor. 7 seconds. The wizard. 5 seconds. Demon hunter. 7 seconds. And it's all by the same guy, not Jester. So that's interesting. It's interesting for really 2 reasons. And the reason is, of course, it's hacked or modded gear. That's obviously clear. And if you have a look at his gear, you will see it's 3 sockets with mass amounts of affixes that are not in the game. But that's not the point. Look at this. The ethereal weapons have been hacked. Now you cannot do that in non-season. Ethereal weapons are a part of Season 24 only. So this is clearly a new exploit where someone has managed to edit a PlayStation 4 save with Season 24 data. Now, if you want to see a video of that 5-second clear, I've got that coming later on in the video, and it's pretty astonishing. But when I saw this in the leaderboards, I reached out to Jester, as I do all people who exploit, not to have a go at these people, more to find out more information about how they've done it, if it's going to be a common thing in seasons, and if the PlayStation 4 version of Diablo 3 will become like Switch and hacked gear everywhere. And the answer to that is a resounding no, based on my discussions with Jester. I want to explain why. I mean, whilst he revealed some details that gave clues about how he did this, we both agreed not to share that information. But to help us all understand what has happened, the motivation behind it, and if this is going to be a common thing, I think it's important to share a little of Jester's background. You see, he is not a seasonal Diablo 3 player on console. He's played it a little, non-season, a few years ago. He picked it up again and has never really played a full season in its entirety. But you see, Jester has had some serious experience in the console modding community. He assisted in the first real hardware exploit of the Xbox 360. He was a staff at this website for many years. He also did the re-signing of saves for the Xbox 360 through the application or service Horizon 360. And he's co-founded the first and longest and lasting stealth service to allow modded consoles to go online without detection through the service XBLS Ninja. Can you see where I'm going with this? This is no guy with a few buttons has worked out some exploit. This is a guy with 15 years experience in the modding community who's picked up Diablo 3, grinded for a bit in season, and then decided as his hobby, perhaps I can do something with this, with his modding abilities. And the results are there to be seen on their leaderboards. Now, not only has he done that for PlayStation 4, but he's also done it on the Switch. He has done exactly the same thing that he's done on the PlayStation 4 as he has done on the Switch, and edited and modded it and done the same clears. Now, he is the only person to have done this, and more to the point, he can do this with most games on the PlayStation 4 with a few caveats that I won't mention. And the key to me is that he's done this without Save Wizard. He's done it without that commercial application to edit saves. Now, just to cover up something, if we go to the softcore monk leaderboards, we will see there's actually 4 players with modded gear. These guys. Now then, let's clear this up. Jester is on all leaderboards, on all clears with his modded gear. But he needed to get some help and assistance, so he had some research done by this guy, the Devil's Son. So you have a look at his gear. it's modded. But no Jester, not Jester, sorry, gave him those gear. And this guy is a new save wizard, where you can take a save and re-sign it to somebody else's PSN account and giving it to these other guys. So you will notice that this is exactly the same gear. If we go to the gloves and you go to the gloves, you'll see it's exactly the same. And I asked Jester on this, and Jester says that whilst he wanted to repay somebody who was passionate about Diablo 3 research, who was this guy, number 2, the Devil's Son, he gave him, no, Jester created this character for him, but the Devil's Son promised that he would not clear 150, that he'd only do 149s. But this guy seemingly broke his word, has done 150, and has started passing this saves on to these other people. Jester is no longer talking to this guy because of that. So this guy has managed to edit saves on PlayStation 4 and create mass amounts of gear and characters no matter what, whilst he made this character for this person, and this person has just passed it on via save wizard. And I think that's quite important to acknowledge. So the Devil's Son has no idea how to do this originally. All he can do is pass it on, which means it dies with him with Season 24. Well, not Jester may have the ability to do Season 25 and onwards. So that is the question. Is this going to be a common thing in Seasons on PlayStation 4? You see, I seriously doubt that. Jester is not a regular Diablo 3 player, but he's a serious modder. His motivation isn't to cheat or to be number 1 in the leaderboards, but it's simply to take his modding experience and do something that's never been done before. Unless he makes tutorials on what he's done, I doubt nobody else can do what he has done. So, that video of that 5-second clear on the Firebird Wizard, do you want to see it? Let's see it. With Jester's permission, here is that Firebird Wizard's sub 5-second clear and 150 soul.
Are you? The Rift Guardian has arrived!
You have triumphed. I'm carrying too much.
So, what are my thoughts on this? I mean, sure, yeah, I've been a fiercely protective person of cheating and seasons on console for Diablo 3, and from Season 10, myself and the console community have gotten exploits patched by Blizzard and save wizards. We stopped them editing certain things in Diablo 3, and I've highlighted why cheating is poor to do in Diablo 3 in Seasons. but I'm fairly impressed at what this guy has done. His motivation was not to cheat in Diablo 3 per se, but to do something that's never been done before. And whilst yes, it does ruin the leaderboards for Season 24, I doubt that this will become a pattern of future seasons on PlayStation 4. And with Diablo 2 remastered and Diablo 4 incoming, and Diablo 3 being a 7-year-old game, and having now 14 seasons on console, and when you include the Twister Wizard build, which is a broken build on console, which can ensure that anyone really in season can do a GR 150 anyway, then this guy's achievements is pretty astonishing but is less impactful. So there you have it, folks. In summary, a guy with years of modding experience has managed to edit saves from the PlayStation 4 games. He's edited a Diablo 3 PlayStation 4 seasonal tune with modded gear, with Season 24 specific gear, like the Ethereals. But in my opinion, and in his, this feat is hardly to be repeated. I'd like to thank Jester for his willingness to discuss this with me. For any players in Season 24 that are upset about this, may I suggest you contact Blizzard and ask them to cleanse the leaderboards like they do in PC. They have the capability to do so on console platforms, but they refuse to do so. The more people that contact them about this, the more chance that they may clean up the leaderboards. But in reality, there's nothing they can do about a console specific exploit. Thanks for your time. I'm Homer G. Nick, and I'm out of here.